He said, I was with Rasulullah in most of his journey. He will not go beyond two in his entirety of life. That was with him. And he, he prayed too in his life. Abu Bakr was like that. Omar was that. Kadalik. Now, maybe we may not understand, or maybe we may not understand the length of time he's talking about now. He's talking about, let's say Rasulullah, he was in Medina for how many years? Rasulullah was in Medina for how many years? Was he 10 years or 13 years? Rasulullah was in Medina or 23 years. So Rasulullah was in Medina for 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. Now, he was on constant journey. It could be due to, most of it was dawah, and some of it was to defend the honor and integrity of Muslims in terms of those who are running war against the Muslims. So Abdullah ibn Umar said, I was with him in most of the journey, and Rasulullah was, let's give him the last 3 years for hypothetical saying. The last 3 years of the last 3 years of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Abu Bakr was leader of Muslims for, say, 2 years and some months. Then Omar was the leader of Muslims for 12 years. Then Uthman, 10. So we're talking about 10, 12, 22, plus another 2, which is 24, plus 3, which is 27. So Abdullah ibn Umar said, every journey I made with these great 4 men, when it's time for Zuhr and Asri, they will pray to Rak'ah. They will pray to Rak'ah. Zuhr and Asri. We have talked about Jamu Baina Salatain. So this is where we stopped that time. And in a narration, Rasulullah said, this is a gift of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gives you. So please accept Allah's gift. Unless you don't have the knowledge of the deen, but if you have the knowledge of the deen, once you're a traveler, we have dealt with what will make you to be a traveler. We spent about 3 or 4 series on that. So to be a traveler, then you have to combine not only that, shorten the length of Salat of Zuhr and Asri to 2-2. Either you do Jamil Taqdeem or Jamil Ta'khir. You can pray Zuhr and Asri at a time of Zuhr. This one is called Jamil Taqdeem. And that is, you brought it forward. Then you can pray it at the time of the second Salat. You can delay it, not because you are wasting the time of Salat or you want to delay. No, because you are allowed in Sunnah, in Sharia, to delay the time of Salat to the second Salat, because you are لأنك المعذور, because you are conditioned to do that. You're given a rukhsah to do that. So this is where we stopped more than 1 month ago, as far as what is it called now? Combination of, reducing the night length of Salat. This is what it's all about. Now today, inshallah, we'll be going to another hadith, which is hadith 130. That hadith is about Jumu'ah. Salatul, this one is Babu Jumu'ah. You and I will know the excellence of Jumu'ah in our lives. Jumu'ah is a day that Allah specifically chosen for us. This is the day that Allah has chosen for us, and the people in the past they were looking for this day, but Allah didn't give them. By virtue of this, may Allah help the Muslim if we know the importance of this day. يوم الجمعة أفضل أيام الأسبوع. This day is the best of the week. وقد خص الله به المسلمين, because Allah in His infinite mercy give us today. Give us as a gift. So وَضَلُّوا عَنْهُ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ مِنَ الْأُمَمِ, and the people came before us, Jews and Nasara, they were looking for a specific day, but they mislead themselves. You know, you and I, we know that the Jews, they exceptionally took Saturday, Yom Sabt, and while Nasara, they took Sunday. They were looking for a day that Allah says is a blessed day, but they didn't get it. It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that gave the Muslim this day called Yom Jumu'ah. Yom Jumu'ah in its in a lot of things that is embedded in it. It's a day that we do specific ibadah, that we are given the lift not to pray Zuhr. The salat we prayed there will stand in the place of Zuhr, which is Salatul Jumu'ah. Yet, most mankind, especially Muslims, most of us, we always come late for Salatul Jumu'ah. I don't know of any tribe, but I know of my tribe, the Yorubas. They always have excuse. Oh, they still in at least the Salat is say 2 p.m. Or I will meet the Imam when it's about to start the Salat. How about the khutbah? So the khutbah is part of the Jummah. Yes, if you miss it, it doesn't mean you have missed Jummah. You are losing a great reward. So this is the day the kuffar or kafirun in general were looking for. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in His infinite mercy, gave us Jummah. Alhamdulillah for being Muslim. In Jummah, as I said, a lot of things is embedded in it. Apart from the salat, apart from the khutbah, that is 2 khutbah, in it, we see that Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam وعظامها هذه الصلاة التي هذا هي أكاد الفروض. So we can say is equivalent to compulsory salat. It is close to compulsory salat, salat al-Jumu'ah. So though it is, no doubt, if you miss it, you have to pray salat al-Zuhr back. Unless if you are in a state or a place that they pray more than 2 Jumu'ah. most of the places we know worldwide, they may not be, but in North America that we know, they pray three in some places. Some ulama, they do not agree that we should pray one more than one because it will lead to laziness amongst the adherents of this thing. People will say, well, if I miss one, I will pray the second one. So this is, and some other things ulama have said about it. Let's accommodate for one Juma. No matter how small a place will be, it's fine. We should not give room for second, third, because it will lead to laziness amongst the Muslimun, which is true. You see brothers doing nothing. They say, well, if I miss the first one, I will still catch the second one. The second one, if I don't get it, there's still room for the third one. Except for those who are genuinely preoccupied, who perhaps they were in a job that will not allow them to, not the job, it's not the people who controls the job. What I mean by not allow them is a job that has to do with life and death. If they are the people who are working in the hospital or clinic place, and they have to do a kind of some kind of a procedure that most of us know as surgery, and if that's they're doing and preoccupy them that they let them miss the Jumu'ah, the first one. Yes, لأنه معذورون, because they are exempted. So other than that, ulama they do not give room for making second Juma, third Juma. If there's room to make one, if they want to accommodate. But give room for second and third. You know, somebody will now say, what about the rest of us in the Western Europe? Rest of us in North America and Europe. We would have forgotten that we are the same Muslim. The gender that people around the world are vying and competing to go to is the same gender we want to go to. There's no exception. So in terms of going to Jannah, so if your job is not the one that allows you to pray Jumu'ah, because I know some places they don't pray 2 or 3 Jumu'ah. It's just one. So, and if we vie to make one, inshallah, we can make it. Other than that, some ulama, they give room for, if there's necessity of making the second one, you can. For instance, I know downtown Toronto, the downtown of Toronto here, that place, you can make one Jumu'ah. There's no way you can make one Jumu'ah. In fact, before the people started the first one, before they finish it, you will see the people standing to come into the masjid. There won't be room for them. If you can't fit, and this is the heart of GTA in Toronto, downtown. So exception like that is okay. Other than that, me working, I'm a person who owns my own job and waiting to go for second Juma. I'm a person who has a job that is not even owned by myself. I can ask my boss, I need a special time every Friday, 1 hour, to be with my Lord. What stopped me from asking my boss for that? But most of us if you miss the first one, there's still room for second one. If I miss the second one, there's room for third one. Ulama, they said this will be making us to be lazy. So in any way, shape, or form you take it to delay your time that you are going for Jumu'ah, second one or third one, you are not doing yourself any good. Apart from that, some of the things again on the day of Jumu'ah is that Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam will recite, he loves to, it's not compulsory, you will recite Surah Al-Sajdah in Salatul Fajr or Salatul Subh in the first rak'ah. In the second rak'ah, you will recite Surah Al-Insan. So if you want to, you can. But it can't be a thing that you do every Jummah. As we see some of our brothers from Middle East or Asian country, the Indo-Pak, the brothers from India and Pakistan and Bangladesh, they will stick to this suratani, these two Surah to Sajda or Surah to Insan, in every Jummah. Da'iman. This is not what ulama said. You can diversify, read the surah. So, but them, no matter what you tell them, they will not budge. So may Allah increase them in more knowledge. I mean, not only that, we will read Surah to Kahf. We have dealt with the importance of Surah to Kahf itself in terms of the tafsir of the previous tafsir. So some are saying that it has to be recited from after Fajr, between Fajr and Maghrib, because that's the Juma. But some ulama are saying there's nothing stop you to recite if you're a slow reciter. If you miss it out, once the Maghrib is done of Thursday, you are in Juma night and Juma day. So they say you can break it down so that it will be easier for you to finish 120 ayat of Surah Al-Kahf. A person is very slow reciter, a person who is trying to recite, and you want him to finish between Fajr and Maghrib, it might be difficult for a person who just started to be reading Quran. So they say if you break it down, inshallah, there's no problem in that. Likewise, you see what are the beauties and the benevolence of Juma, what's embedded in them. This is why the people who came before us, Yahudi and Nasara, they were looking for this special day, but they missed it. Yahudi, they thought it was Thursday, Yom Sabt. Saturday, I'm sorry. When Nasara thought it was Yom Ahad, they thought it was today, Sunday. Well, Allah says, Yom Jumu'ah. So, apart from that, a person who is going to Jumu'ah, take go slow, put on the best of your clothing. A male, you put on the best of perfume. A female, it is no. A female does not wear perfume that people will smell of her. Rasulullah said, if a woman wears a perfume and people smell the perfume in her, فَهِيَ زَانِيَةٌ فَهِيَ زَانِيَةٌ فَهِيَ زَانِيَةٌ. She's a fornicator. She's a fornicator. She's a fornicator. Not only that, the time you go to Jumu'ah, as you're going, Allah will be giving you reward as you're moving. And as if you are walking, which is what is preferred, if there's another means of getting to Jumu'ah, no problem. As you go to Jumu'ah walking, so your right leg, as you're moving them, Allah will be elevating your rank. As you move into your left leg, Allah will be placing you of your mistake. So this is not only that, and when you get to Juma before Imam, you get certain reward. If you get to Juma at this certain time, you'll get a reward that is as big as this. If you get to Juma in this certain time, you get the reward as big as that. If you get to the Juma closer to when the Imam was there, you'll get a reward as small or as big as an egg. Inshallah, when we get there, we'll be talking about it. Not only that, in Jumu'ah, as we said, is embedded with two khutbah. The only imam is expected to talk, except if you ask question that he needed answer from you or any member of the mustabi'un, any member from the people who are audience listening to the khutbah. He is the only one who could talk. And if he talks, he asks question that needed answer, he can point to anyone that he thinks has the answer. So, inshallah, is allowed. Not only that, as a khutbah on Jumu'ah, there's a specific time that day that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted the dua. You see, why would the Jews and Christians will not be looking for this day based on everything embedded in this day? So there's a specific time Allah accepts dua. Some say it is when the Imam sits, between the sitting of the Imam for this to get up for the second khutbah. Some say that is the time. Some say it is when the Imam has finished the salat, then when he's making dua. Some say it is this time. Some say no, inna akhiru sa'atu ba'da al-asr. Some say it is after Salat al-Asr that this specific time is. Insha'Allah, وهذا قول جمهور الصحابة والتابعين واختاروا Imam Ahmad. This, the later part that it is after Asr, that the specific time is there, that Allah was on that day. This is the statement that's agreed upon by the Sahaba and those Tabi'in and those who follow them. After them, I'm sorry. Inshallah, we'll go into details of it. I'm just giving us the synopsis of what is embedded in this Babu Juma itself. Likewise, on day of Jumu'ah, as I said, we're expected to wear the best of our clothes, be it male or female. The best clothes to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is white, the best clothes. But it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to wear white every Juma or every day. If Allah bless you to be wearing white, fabi wa ni'ma, every time. If Allah bless you to wear some other colors, is okay. But to say that because the best clothes to Rasulullah or the one he loves most is white, then we'll say that to wear white on the day of Juma is afdal. No, we cannot say that. For me, we cannot say that. If you wear them, alhamdulillah, any clothing you can. The only clothing the clothing you can't wear, it is the clothing you can't wear any time, save Juma itself. Any clothing that resembles the clothing of Yahud and Nasara, you cannot. So, all of this, because something we wear, we see brothers these days, they will wearing necklaces. This is not for men. Necklaces is for women. Under no shape or form, a man cannot wear necklace. It's meant for women. Today, again, you see brothers wearing earrings. This is even, we don't know how this thing is degenerating. They come to Juma, earrings in both ears. So you will see this every masjid you go to. Those of us who might not be in the north, I'm sorry, who might not be in the west, I mean the Western country, it might not be rampant among the adherents of Islam in our local places, especially because I'm connected to Nigeria. You will see the hearings very common among the so-called celebrity. So I wish our youth of today, not even youth, you see elderly people copying. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Let alone you come to the masjid like that. May Allah save us and the youth of this generation. Likewise, what is expected of us on Jumu'ah is that we listen to the khutbah. After the salat, we exchange greetings, then we pray sunnah. You see, brothers are making mistakes. Some brothers, or some of us, any salat you pray that is compulsory salat. They said, any nawaf you want to make, you have to change the sport, except if it is very tough. If you say you're in Kaaba, or you're in either of the Haramain, that if you leave your spot, you will lose it. You may not even get it back. Those are conditional. Our local masajid, if you pray one Jama'ah, in fact, part of Sunnah of Jumu'ah is to pray Jumu'ah. Then you exchange greetings with people around you before you go to making your own nawafil. You see, brothers, after the man finished, they just turned up making about 4, 5, 6, 8 rakats. Exchange greetings. This is the practice of the Sahaba. Exchange greetings with people around you. Maybe it could be on the right, it could be on the left, it could be in front, it could be at your back. Exchange greetings. Then you go to your nawafil, change your sport, which is advisable. And when the Imam recites, we know it has to be jahar. So Imam will recite loud. And these are the little things that come to my mind now as far as Juma is concerned. So we'll be going specifically to the Hadith 130 of Umdat Alhakam. عن سائل ابن سعد السعيدي رضي الله عنهما أن رجالا تمروا في منبر رسول الله عليه الصلاة والسلام من أي عود هو فقال سهل من طرفاء الغابة وقد رأيت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم قام عليه وكبر الناس ورآه وهو على منبر. No, قام عليه فكبر وكبر الناس ورآه وهو على منبر ثم ركع فنزل قهقر حتى سجد في أصل المنبر ثم عاد حتى فرغ من آخر صلاته ثم أقبل على الناس فقال يا أيها الناس إنما صنعت هذا لتأتموا بي وَلِتَعَلِّمُوا صَلَاتِي. This one, وَفِي اللَّفْظٍ فَصَلَّى وَهُوَ عَلَيَّ ثُمَّ كَبَرَ عَلَيَّ ثُمَّ رَفَعَ وَهُوَ عَلَيَّ ثُمَّ نَزَلَ الْقَهْقَرَ. وَحَدِيثُ رواه البخاري ومسلم. So this one is talking about the minbar itself, was discussing about the minbar itself, how it was made. So I will go to this hadith in the book of Imam al-Bukhari that said that this is a bit longer. So it said, some people, Anna Rijalan, some people went to Sahal and they asked him that there are differences of opinions regarding the wood that was made for Rasulullah's pulpit, that is the minbar. And I'm reading the version of Bukhari, which is longer. So he said, Wallah, I know the wood that was made of. I know the wood that was made of. I said, no doubt, I saw it on the first day of Allah's messenger that sat on it. And our Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent for such and such. When it was wanted to describe how the wood was made, so Rasulullah sent to a woman, Ansariya, and this woman had a slave who knew how to do carpentry work. So so the slave made the wood and it was given to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So then Rasulullah asked the people to place it in certain place in the masjid. So then Sahal was saying, I saw Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam praying on the minbar, or Rasulullah, when he prayed on the minbar, he would step down to make ruku and sujood. He will go back to it, pray, meaning recited. When it's time to make ruku, it will come down and sujood. It will come down from it. So after he finished, he said, I did this to teach you how to pray salat and for you to obey or follow me the way salat is made. A lot of statement was drawn from this by ulama al-hadith. First of all, they said this hadith, they always talking about Jumu'ah, is a proof that once you're on the minbar or once you're in a salat, if you are moving, if you are moving, meaning if your legs are moving, it can't be more than 3 steps. Some ulama, they are strictly on that. For instance, if something will make you move in salat, moving your steps, 1, 2, 3, they say if it's beyond that, your salat will be null and void, based on what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did here. There are ulama, they're strictly on that. So, and they will not even entertain anything. whatever is making you moving more than 3 steps while you're in salat, your salat is invalid. So I remember that Sheikh Al-Albani was asked a question one time. I listened to the audio. So he said, somebody asked a question that if I was praying behind the Imam and I came late in an open place, I came there to join the Jama'ah. So when they finish the Salat, I will be praying in an open place, but I want to use pillar of the masjid to be my sutra. What should I do? And the pillar is farther away from me, what should I do? Sheikh Albani said, well, if you want to do that, as long as people do not see you, your walking does not resemble you are having fun. That's how he said it. If anybody should walk in by the time anytime anybody should open it and walk into that musalla, it was the time you're walking. As long as anybody doesn't see it as what? As you're having fun. But if you are walking as if you are having fun, how would you do? So this area is, some ulama now ask, how would you know if you're having fun or not? Would you walk like a Robert, or would you walk like a military cantonment? So ulama, they say this is why if there's more than 3 steps, there's nothing, your salat is invalid. What about the argument that you have to pray behind a sutra? If you have sutra, alhamd, by joining them, because the imam will always be your sutra. Once you are praying, imam is a sutra anytime. But once you came late, the salat is finished and you are in a place. If you have no sutra around you, or you didn't prepare for one that you came with, inshallah, you can continue your salat. To the people who have the knowledge, they will not walk in front of you. If they even walk, Sheikh Al-Uthaymin is saying that he's talking about arm's length. When you stretch out your hand this way in salat, this is what Rasulullah is saying. Once it's not a place of makan sujood, as long as it's not a place that you are prostrating, your length when you go to sujood, when you rise up like that, when you measure it will not go beyond when you stretch out your full hand. Perpendicular like that, downward. This is what he's talking about. I hope I'm not making it complicated. So you see a lot of arguments among scholars on this. Some believe sutra is as compulsory as anything in your salat. If you do not have sutra, can you pray? Remember, if you are praying behind the imam, you don't need any sutra other than the imam. Imam is your sutra. But if you came late or your wudu breaks, that's when the question comes in. Those who say sutra doesn't, we are not in those camp. No, sutra is as important as you are starting your salat. No doubt about that. But in some circumstance that you can't control it, you pray Jama'ah. Definitely you have sutra, that's your imam. In case you do break or something happened, you have to leave the salat. Or you needed something happened that your attention was needed. Between life and death, you have to leave. You came back to the salat. That's when the issue of is sutra compulsory or not will come up. Other than that, prepare. If you are praying by yourself, I know I feel you can pray in an open place, get a sutra for yourself. This is our own standard. But when it comes to مسائل فقهية يكون في اختلاف, when it comes to something like this, mas'ala, in terms of, do I look for sutra? Do I have to walk to a near pillar? Do I have to get something for myself? While you're in salat, people would think as if we are having fun. This is what you have to be wary of. No doubt, if you are praying nawafil, you can't pray in an open place in the masjid. Look for sutra. How about compulsory salat? But when you are now doing your salat by yourself, that you're praying back, this is when the question comes in. So they said that's the first thing. If you are making 3 steps, more than 3 steps, if it's not more than 3 steps, your salat is valid. So that's number one. Number two, Rasulullah was praying on minbar. Is minbar of Rasulullah, is it like what we have today? Absolutely not. If the minbar could allow him to stand, recite, and come down 1, 2, 3, make ruku and sujud for him to teach people. So you will see that some of the pulpit we see today, you will just see the imam emerge somewhere. We won't see the step, but that of Rasulullah means the step is visible. It got to be visible for people to see. So now, another question will be, if you have minbar that has more than 3 steps, what's going to happen? So we will say what Rasulullah did was he came down 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. And that's it. According to this hadith, Rasulullah came down to teach people how to pray their salat. In fact, when he finished, ثم أقبل على الناس فقال يا أيها الناس إنما صنعت هذا لتأتموا بي ولتعلموا صلاتي, to complete my salat and to teach you how to make your salat. This one is in Bukhari. So to say that if you have a minbar that has more than 3, 4, 5 steps, I have no knowledge of that. I don't know what is now the ruling of Sharia about that. I can't give you what I don't know. But what I know, and people of knowledge are saying, according to what they taught us, when Rasulullah was reciting on minbar, he came down 1, 2, 3 steps to the base, to the floor. Then he went to sujood, to ruku and sujood. He said, to complete my salat and to teach you how to make your salat. So this is the minbar of Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. So that's number one part of it. So as we now draw out series of questions that people can bring in terms of stepping down from the minbar to teach people. Number two, that we will draw out there in terms of what you see is they say Umar radiallahu anhu would not. Umar radiallahu anhu will not go to the third place of the staircase of the minbar of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said no. Rasulullah was the one who did it. It was a respect to Rasulullah. So If he was standing on the third, I will remain on the second. I, Umar, I'm not equal to the level of Rasulullah, alayhi salatu wasalam. You will see when it comes to people who came before us, they understood respect from their teacher, unlike us today. Rasulullah was a leader, he was a father, he was the head of the nation, not the head of the world. And the people taught under him, they saw him as a leader. He didn't make himself one. Allah makes him the leader. So, and you see, if you have good students who learning under you, Allah is a good blessing. Allah specifically took Abu Bakr and the rest to be around Rasulullah, to aid what the message he wanted to give him. Without them, Allah would do it alone by himself. So Umar said, if Rasulullah could stand there, not me, Umar, I will stand in the second step to give respect to Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. So ulama, they are telling us when it comes to knowledge seeking, we have to respect the people who are teaching us. Sometimes you might have knowledge more than your teacher, but it's not to be bragging about it. Because the most teacher, their dua, or let me say the teacher that I know, those who are al-ulama wa rabbaniyun, their dua is for their student to be always better than them. To be better than them, not equal like them. Because it's a dua that is Allah will accept. Or it's an acceptance of dua if your student is better than you. But you still see people who have correct knowledge, they will be defiling to their teachers every time. Even if they know more than that, they will always defile it to their teachers. Once they see my teacher is present, I won't talk here because it's my teacher. It's not that the teacher has knowledge than him now, but this is what is called respect. This is where it's taken from. Likewise on that. So what we got there is that it's incumbent upon whoever is a leader, especially Imam, to be teaching us about Salat every now and then. In any book of fiqh you lay your hand to, Salat, I believe, will take half of the whole book. Because what is there is too much. The rest is based on principle. Hajj, if you're making Hajj, have this. A Hajj doesn't go beyond 5 and 6 days. And there's no Hajj right in Medina. It's only Mecca. That's it. Before you go, you have to know this, you have to know that. But Salat, if you open a book today, reading the book of Salat, you will see there are a lot for me to know. There are a lot for me to know. So, by virtue of this, our leaders, it's incumbent upon them to be teaching us about Salat every time, because we are always forgetful. When you see the people who in the past, what is most important to them is Salat. Every other thing is secondary. Every other thing in their life, secondary. But Salat, subhanallah. Most of us who would think we are making maybe quote unquote correct Salat. Let's assume, do we have khushu' in Salat? And khushu', they say, is the head. Roisu Salat. Alhamdulillah, I want to pray 4 rak'at. And you will never think of anything. But the Sahaba, they don't lie alayhi ajma'in. Allah helped them, unlike us today. So if our Imam, they are making it towards every time to know about Salat, to know about Salat, 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 Salat. After Salat is Salat. After Salat is Salat. Allah will not ask me if I didn't make Hajj. If I don't have means of going to Hajj, it will never be asked of me. And it will never be asked of me if I don't pay zakat, if I do not have what I save up. But you and I, your salat will be put on scale. So under that, in our household, the husband should always look after the wife. The wife should look after the husband when it comes to salat, because it's not a thing that people joke with, because this is their what? Their lifeline. Our life depends on salat, no ifs and buts. Likewise, as I said, you will see that the people who came before us, anytime they have need, they will go back to people who were there. Like Sahal, when people were asking how was the member for Rasulullah, it was referring, in fact, he was telling us the story of a woman, a Nasraniya, Asafullah, a woman who was a person of Medina, but she was a Muslim. She accepted Islam. She had slave, and one of his slave had knowledge carpentry. This is a person that acts as a slave to make the member of Rasulullah, and donated it as a gift to Rasulullah in the message of Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. So, and Sal was describing it. Likewise, when it comes to knowledge, we seek knowledge from the people above us. We seek knowledge. We define knowledge to the people who are above us. Yes, we might have friends who have knowledge, no doubt, to seek clarity and clarification. That's fine because they're closer to us. But when it comes to knowledge, it's not a thing that every Tom, Dick, and Harry can be talking about. Today, knowledge is even, it's even, what is it called? Can we say residual? Now, some be telling you based on this, based on that. Or can we say it's relative? Because it's whatever A knows, it is what he will call knowledge. Whatever B knows, it's what he will tag knowledge. But knowledge, it is call Allah, call Rasul, or call Ashab. Or Aqwalu Ashaba. Watabi'in. This is knowledge. So anytime we see from this hadith that it's talking about Salatul Jumu'ah, the member of Rasulullah was describing it. Yet, look at the benefit that was drawn out from it. Not only that, when it comes to wujubu itiba'u nabi, it's compulsory for us to follow Rasulullah in our daily living, activities of daily living. Just talking about Jumu'ah, they're talking about how you can, to be successful, you have to follow the Imam. I mean, you have to follow Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. Likewise, Rasulullah says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, He said, Innama san'atu, what I did, what I did, li ta'tamu bi. He says, to follow me, to see what I do, wali wa wali ta'lamu salati, so that I can teach you as well. You will see how I do it, and you perform the way I did it. Salat is not a joke. When it comes to some brothers or some sisters, when they pray, you shake your head for them. An elderly person prayed beside me, I believe was it on Friday? Yeah, Friday. So in the last message, I overslept for Asr. So when I woke up, the Salat was done. So I didn't pray at home. I went straight to the masjid. I knew I would be the only one because it was late. So when I finished the second rak'ah, the second rak'ah, I rose for the third rak'ah. I saw the footings of somebody behind, walking to my right side. He didn't pray with me, he was praying on his own. So I was concentrated on mine because it was in my radius. You see, if something is moving within your radius, you will see, not that you will be looking at it. So when I finished, so I went to the man and I asked him, he was an elderly man. It could be in his 70s because he's great. Subhanallah. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Nurdin. I am a person who wants to know about the deen. This is how I presented myself. And I inquired, I said, I wouldn't mind if you would tell me, because I want to be at your age doing what you're doing. I said, I'm amazed that you pray as much as you did. Remember 2 rak'ah of the last 2 part of Salatul Asr was one I made. Because I was trying to make him to talk. So I said, well, may Allah give you longevity more than this. And I hope Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make me get to your age. And I wish I could be doing what you're doing. Would you tell me how many rak'ah you prayed? He said, when I came in, I first prayed 4 of Sunnah. Then I prayed another 4 of Fard. Then I prayed another 2. No, I'm sorry. So I prayed 4 of Sunnah. So I remember that there was 2 that I left. 2 I left that I should have completed after Salatul Zuhr, but I didn't do it. I prayed that, then I prayed 4 compulsory Asri. So Allahu Akbar. I made a lot of dua for him. He kind of felt happy about how he explained to me. But I said, alas, it seems you are too fast. I said, I only pray 2 rak'ah, nothing after Fatha. Wallahi, before I said Salamu Alaikum, he finished those 10 rak'ah before me. Whoever has seen me pray, I don't delay Salat. I don't elongate it like that. Wallahi, because I felt sorry for that old man. Subhanallah. So when he was a bit in a rush, so I engaged him. I said, please, it's your lifeline. It's mine. I said, I only prayed 2 when you came in. How could you finish 10? While I was even completing my last 2. So he said he never felt that it was faster because nobody has explained to him that it was faster. So he said he was rushing to go to Scarborough. He said, inshallah, look into it and talk. So he said, inshallah, I will check it out. Perhaps nobody has talked to him before. So Rasulullah said, I came down from my minbar to teach you how to pray Salat. You think it's a joke. Salat is not a joke. If you don't know how to pray, learn it. As I always say, It's an ISO for a Muslim to pray 4 rak'at under 3 minutes or 4 minutes. Even if you are Sudaisi in terms of recitation, that's what I mean by that is faster. When you even check Sudaisi, anytime you lead the Salah, apart from Ramadan, it does not recite the way he recited. It will never recite the way he recited his Quran in Taraweeh, if it's compulsory Salah. Listen to any of his recitation. Keep watching. Maybe the days Sudaisi will lead his Salah, compulsory Salah. Sobo, Fajr, Sobo, Maghrib, Isha. You will see it's in Sudaisi. But recitation is never, I will never be equal to what it does in Taraweeh. Because you know this is compulsory salat. So this is one of the benefits of that hadith. So like if you could leave Mimbar to teach people how to pray salat, it's not a joke. It's not a joke, and it should never be a joke for you and I when it comes to salat. So now, can we say there's a question? Was salatu Jum'ah afdalu min az-zuhri bila naza'in? Can we say that, well, salatu Jum'ah is as excellent or preferred to Zuhr on the day of Jum'ah? So this is a mas'ala that we will look into detail, inshallah. So, and that one will be reading from Gaya to Al-Mihram, Shari, the book of Imam Al-Maqdisi. So this one will be looking into that. It's a volume 7. So this book is about 30 volumes, and 30 volumes is talking only about Salat, just Salat only. Any scenario you can think of has been asked in this book. So if I come late, what happened? If this happened, what happens? That is taken care of in this book. So, inshallah, we stop here. If there's any question based on this hadith, and next week we'll go to next hadith. Midnight. Oh, next week I won't be here next week, inshallah. It will be 2 weeks time because I won't have time, and I don't want to jeopardize my own rights or the right of the people who I'll be working for or working with. So inshallah, it will be 2 weeks time, but there won't be class next week, Midnight Ta'ala. So we'll go to the next hadith, and we'll be reading from the shadow of the hadith itself, because this one hadith that I talked about is it has explanation for more than, let me see, 300 pages in the book of Gayat Mahrim. So when the ulama are saying something, they are talking, Allah, we should give them the respect. A lot of research they've done, a lot of no sleep, just because for them, not only for you, for themselves, they want to know. And if they are talking, they want you to know some of the mistake you and I could be making, perhaps in Salat. May Allah have mercy on us and forgive us our mistake. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. So if you have question, comment, inshallah you are welcome. بإذن الله تعالى. You can. Inshallah. Can I ask a question? Why you concerned now?
Yeah, bàtà yẹn sọ̀rọ̀ nípa pé tá a bá gbẹ́sẹ̀ ní ìmẹ́ta lórí sọlá. Sorry, tí àwọn ọmọ yẹn like pé à ń kírun sí àwọn ọmọ wa wà ní sports kan like lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ èèyàn pé ọmọ méjì àbí mẹ́ta tóbi gbọ́ tó ti ń ṣeré so space wa pọ̀ ní ẹ̀gbẹ́ débi tí ẹlòmíì máa wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ èèyàn so like kí lèèyàn máa wá ṣe.
I will translate the question, please, but boy, that please, space wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ yẹn. Ṣé lómi ò lè bọ́ sí ẹgbẹ́ space yẹn? Kò yé mi.
Dákẹ́ bí wọ́n rò ló wà so ọmọ tó wà lẹ́yìn.
One row ó wà kò séèyàn mi lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ yẹn mọ́ àwọn ọmọ wa ń ṣeré kò honestly question yẹn ò yé mi o.
Like àwọn èèyàn wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ yẹn but àwọn ọmọ ló wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ immediate ẹ̀gbẹ́ mi bóyá nísìnyí ọmọ kékeré kan wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ mi ọmọ kékeré mi wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ọmọ kékeré yẹn wọ́n wá pé bíi mẹ́ta lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ara wọn.
Kúrò àyè wá wà.
Yeah.
Okay, kí ni kéèyàn ṣe?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Oh, okay, I got the question now. So in the place of salat, when in the safu, so we have kids beside me, about 3 or 4 of them, or more than that. You know, kids are not stable in salat. They left. There's a vacuum of sport. What do I do when you were talking about not moving more than three steps? So I wish I could be seen fully as I'm moving backward. So when you are in salat, my head will not be visible. Okay. So when you are in salat, I'm not saying moving sideways. You see, because that one is talking about walking, stepping, because you can't, Rasulullah didn't move sideways. When you stand up, you walk forward or you walk backward. So, but when you are in the salah to correct the space left, you draw person to your side, or you will, how would you do that? Is that walking or you slide or whatever you do? So that one is not what he's talking about. Forward or backward, that's what he's saying. From little I know, because if you are in salat, you wanted to cover the spot left by the vacuum. Due to the kids, they move away. So that one, you see, we have this problem even with adults sometimes. You know, those who will not touch, they will not let their foot touch yours. They will be claiming it is shoulder. When you even look at them, their shoulder doesn't touch yours. So what I'll do when people are beside me, they're not, I'll grab them, I'll go to the side of their back and draw them towards me. So if I draw them towards me, they will shift a little bit. Don't worry yourself if the people are not, if it is an adult. If the kids, there's nothing you could do about it. So that is why those brothers who are from Indo-Pak area, they strictly don't want kids in the masjid. Listen to any of their scholars. Strictly, they don't want kids in the masjid. They do not encourage it. Not only that, I even had their the ra'is of the leader of the mufti in the whole of Canada. I had him saying it because it was one Juma, and he said the kids were disturbing. So after in the khutbah, he said, no, don't bring kids to the masjid because they will be distracted people in the salah. Some of us were concerned. We waited. After everybody left, we went, Sheikh, we don't understand what you said. He said, and you know, you can't move closer to them. They have people who are their bodyguards, because he's the head of the Mufti in the whole of Canada. So they say you have to. Well, we waited. Allah, I waited till I had my session with him. So he was not engaging me in Arabia. And he's a person does not speak good English. He wants me to speak Urdu. I don't speak Urdu. I speak English and Arabia. At the end of the day, he said, Sheikh, tell him that we don't know that from Sunnah. Rasulullah even said when I had the kids crying, if I intended to read anything longer, see, anytime I had the kids crying, I will shorten my recitation so that the mom can attend to the need of our child. So where do you get yours from? It was that day they said I can't give talk in the masjid again, that masjid. So Allah Ta'ala alam. Anyway, if something of that happen, if you are moving, do you move to right or you move to left? As long as you cover the spot, Allah knows your intention. Allah Ta'ala alam. So you have question. The person that is pointing.
Naam.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Téèyàn bá ń kírun lẹ́yìn imam, téèyàn ti ṣe téèyàn ti ṣe àsìkár subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik ashhadu an la, tí imam ò dẹ̀ tí bẹ̀rẹ̀ Fatiha tiẹ̀, ṣé èèyàn lè sáré ka Fatiha tiẹ̀ kó tó di pé imam bẹ̀rẹ̀, àbí èèyàn máa ní sùúrù kí imam ka Fatiha tiẹ̀ tó kó tó ka tọ̀dọ̀ ẹ̀?
Question me. Okay, the question is once you have finished the dua istiftah, those are that you do before you start to recite Fatiha. So, and Imam hasn't started to recite Fatiha. Can you rush your Fatiha, start it and finish before the Imam starts his? Was that your question?
No.
Okay. In some ulama, they say yes. They say yes. However, there's this statement from Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. إنما جعل الإمام ليتم به فلا تختلفوا عليه فإذا كبر. This is how it started. Imam is a person to be followed. You place Imam to be followed in the Salat. This hadith authentic. فإذا كبر. It is when he says Allahu Akbar. Fakbiru. All of you, then you say Allahu Akbar. فإذا ركع. It is when he goes to ruku'. That is when you go to ruku'. So all the the recitation now falls between takbir wa ruku'. So ulama, they said, some say the Imam is because of the peculiarity of Fatiha. Some say yes. If you know, you will finish before the Imam starts to recite some Fatiha. So you can recite Fatiha. But those who are saying, how could you be ahead of the Imam? What else I say you can't do anything in the Salat to be ahead of the Imam. How is that possible? Imam has not started to be reciting Fatiha. You want to recite Fatiha. And how would you reconcile that? So it is in between those. Now, there's another one. They said, no, you cannot do anything. As long as the Imam is reciting aloud, you cannot recite anything. That's another opinion. There's a fourth opinion, which is absolutely weakest. It's not even weaker. It's not, but the people of Indo-Pak and Bengali, they do it. When you are behind the Imam, this is the fourth one. The Imam started the Salat. This is how they do their own Salat. When Imam says Allah Akbar, Assalamu alaikum, you see, they will not say anything. This one is not allowed. But you see people of Indo-Pak and Bengali, most of them, or can I say most, not allowed, yes, they do this. Whereas it's not allowed. Now, where do we fall to? It's about Fatha. Ulama, they do not agree upon if Imam recite loud, do you have to recite Fatha or not? The opinion, one opinion is, which is you can't say it is not valid. They said once Imam recite loud, you can't recite anything based on the eye of Allah. This is eye of Allah. So another opinion which I follow, and this is what I do. If the Imam recite loud, either loud or not, when he finishes Fatiha, I recite one Fatiha. When the Imam finishes, I recite my Fatiha. So then I listen to the rest of his Qira'ah. So those who said, based on that ayah, that when the Imam recite Fatiha, when the Imam recite loud, you can't recite anything. They based on that ayah that Quran, when they recite it, you have to listen to it. They based on that ayah. So, and the argument of the other side is Fatiha is rukunun min arkan salat. It's a pillar among the pillars of salat. So if you see brother or sister who is not reciting anything loud or reciting anything after the Imam, they say there's an opinion that says that this is what our teacher taught us. We have to say all the opinion out there. Yes, but I say this is what I do. It's not incumbent upon you to do it, but my own way of doing it is there are these opinions out there, but this is the one I do. So to preempt the Imam, Rasulullah said, if you are even, you are equal with action of Salat with the Imam. Is your Salat valid? How about the one that preempts? You do an action of the compulsory aspect of Salat before the Imam. I would rather stay where on the second opinion, or the opinion of when the Imam finishes Fatiha, I will recite my Fatiha, because Rasulullah ﷺ said that hadith, not one time, not two times, in a different ways, shape, or form. La Salat is a big deal. Liman lam yaqra bi al-kitab. There's no salah for somebody that is not reciting Fatiha. It does not distinguish between Imam or the Ma'mum. In fact, we dealt with this exclusively when we were talking about the Salat of Rasulullah. When Rasulullah finished and turned around, they said, "Oh, were you reciting something with me in the Salat?" They say, "Yes." Rasulullah said, "La tafalu, don't do it again. Illa bi al-kitab, except Surah al-Fatiha." So I am not saying this opinion is stronger than that. No. But I'm saying, based on what ulama are saying on this opinion, this is what I do. So you starting to, are you the Imam? The Imam is the one that, this innaman Imam. It is indeed Imam is the one that will start anything in Salat. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Yes, it's on YouTube if you want to get it, inshallah. There's no need for, we have great scholars that we can subscribe to their lectures, ours. We are just, you and I were equal. We are just students who are learning. So, if you wish to subscribe, is okay. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, it's Nuruddin Abu Umama. Look for that on YouTube. Well, I believe this will be the last question. And please, I'm a person who does not see himself as Mr. Noah. If there's anything that you know is different to what I said, please teach me, because I give lectures here and there. I don't want to make the mistake if I have made one here, so that I will not be continue to be wallowing in the mistake I've made. But I hope and I do know that, inshallah, I will not be speaking of my volition. Bidnai ta'ala. So if there's anything you notice that you think, oh, it's different to what I know, I can share Bidnai ta'ala. Somebody said, can we be saying Bismillah Rahman Rahim after every salah to for every surah to Fatiha? This is this is different among the scholars. Okay, this is different among the scholars when it comes to every time say Allahu Akbar, say Bismillah Rahman Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Do we have to keep saying Bismillah every time? Why will it be the difference among the scholars is Bismillah part of Fatiha? This is the question. Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Is it part of Fatiha or not? So if you know, if you, this is where you will see whoever is reciting Bismillah every time with Fatiha, he consider Bismillah based on the argument of his scholars, because this is what it boils down to. Is it part of Fatiha? If it's considered part of Fatiha, it will be reciting Bismillah Rahman Rahim with Surah Al-Fatiha every time. If not, if it doesn't, based on another opinion, it will not recite Bismillah Rahman Rahim with Fatiha every time, and every time in Salat. Because wallahi, may Allah reward our scholars. They did a lot of work. Only Bismillah Rahman Rahim. We're not talking about his meaning. We're talking about his ruling in Salat. I have a book that is only on that. So what is the statement of ulama concerning reciting Bismillah Rahman Rahim with Fatiha every time in Salat? The book is about, it's one volume. It has about close to 300 pages. Just only on that, they allow reward the people of knowledge abundantly. So it is us that we have to have time to seek it from them. So that is what it boils down to. So, but they agree on one thing. The first time, Allahu Akbar, you've recited the dua istiftah, then you A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. That one is agreed upon in terms of the first time in any salat. But subsequently, can we be saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim? Unless you fall to the opinion of, yes, Bismillah is part of Fatiha, and you'll be reciting Bismillah with Fatiha every time. But if you fall to the opinion of, no, Bismillah is not part of Surah Al-Fatiha, you will not recite Bismillah with Fatiha subsequently except in the first rak'ah. Under that, it is when you see people when they recite loudly, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Though Rasulullah never, according to authentic narrations, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam never recited Bismillah aloud. Never. So the authentic narrations I'm saying now. So it will always start with Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ayatan, ayatan. Ayah by ayah. It will make it muqatta. It will not join them together. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. It will stop. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. It will stop. Or pause, or should I say, Maliki Yawmiddin. Unlike Ulama al-Asri, unlike the people of knowledge of this time, they allow us to join it together. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin Iyyaka na'budu. You're allowed to join that. But what Rasulullah did, he will recite ayah by ayah. So to recite Bismillah with Fatiha every salat, people of knowledge, that is what it's based upon. But for me, apart from what they agreed upon the first time, every time I start subsequently, I don't recite Bismillah with Fatiha. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. What is advice you can give? Because it's confusing. When this will say this, that will say that. It's not confusing. It is us that we are not investing our time into knowledge. I can say that. If you have a specific scholar, you listen to his lectures, try as much as possible to continue to listen to his lectures at prescribed time, or the time is during the lecture. Don't miss anyone. But if you listen today, tomorrow, or if the person who does lectures every day, if the person does lectures every now and then, try as much as possible not to miss one. There's one you miss, try to listen over to it. So you will be able to follow up. Because all these are, when you see people very discussing this, in their book, you give credence to them. They do not sabotage us. So they, even to talk about Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim only in Salat with Fatiha. So do I have to? Don't I have? You will see scholars that will say you don't have to, because it's one hadith, both of them, they interpret or they see with different prism. Because some to baini or baina abdid as-salat nisfain. Allah says, I have divided into between me and my slave a salat. The salat is talking about Salat, because one of the name of Surah Al-Fatiha is Salat. So Allah says, I have divided between me and my slave Fatiha into two. If you had Bismillah to Surah Al-Fatiha, the way it's written, it will be 7 verses. Then the ulama they ask, is there a half of a verse if you read one ayah after Fatiha, your salat is valid. But can we say we can read half of ayah, which is impossible? So those who are saying Bismillah is not part of Fatiha, they base it upon Hadith. Hadith is authentic. Likewise, those who say Bismillah is part of Fatiha, they have ayah. Sabwa and Nathani, 7 often repeated ayah. If you add Fatiha, if you add Bismillah to it, it's 7. Whereas the people who stood on the side that Bismillah is not part of it, they said the last part of Surah Al-Fatiha is divided into 2. You know, we say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin ar-Rahman, from Idina Sirat al-Mustaqim, Sirat al-Ladina Alamta alayhim. They say this is one ayah. This is the end of another ayah, though it is 6. So wallahi, people of knowledge, Allah reward them abundantly. So it's not confusing. It is us that we have to invest our time into any person of knowledge, al-alima rabbani, the one that you can trace his knowledge back to Allah and is opposed to. These are the type of person you choose anyone you want to listen to. Not a person like me, I'm not a scholar though. So I don't even do all this other than once in a week. So please, it's not confusing. It is us that we do not invest our time into lectures. If we invest our time into lectures, we will see that, alhamdulillah, Allah blessed us as Muslims. So it is us that I would say that we have to invest our time. Not only time and money. So some of us, there's no way you want to listen to lectures that you will not even have money to buy books. For instance, if you are listening to, say, Sheikh, give me a famous name now in Yoruba land. Say, Professor Laro. It's an abundance of knowledge. However, it will be telling you whatever he knows. You have to have books on your own that it will give you the exegesis of what he's saying. It's not easy to say 2 hours or 3 hours lecture on one topic. Justice will never be done to some masailu in it, some questions or some events that can arise. It will give you time, your own time and money to invest into how to combat this. But you must have some inbuilt. And a lot of so call on. So it's not confusing, it is us that we made it confused to ourselves, or made it confusing to ourselves. So subhanakallah bihamdik, I believe that's the last question. So as I say, it will be 2 weeks time. No class next week, inshallah. It will be 2 weeks time. Subhanakallah bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum.